So this was one of the very first paintings that I did. This was actually back in March this year, after I'd been to see the Eiffel Cologne exhibition down at Tate in St Ives. I came across Eiffel's work in connection with my poetry, and then connected with her artwork, and was really pleased to see that there was an exhibition only a couple of hours away. And whilst I was there, there were other surrealist paintings as well, and I was quite excited by this idea of the fumage technique, where you use a candle or a lighter against the canvas, obviously with precautions to make sure you don't set anything on fire, and then later go over the smoke patterns with a paintbrush, which I did until over and over the different lines, etc., until something emerged that I felt was beautiful or interesting or had some sense of completion. And that's a feeling rather than a thought, especially with anything to do with art. I think it comes from feelings. So with this one, just looking back on it now, what is that, 5 months later, I think it's really interesting that I'm just going to move closer, there's this circular energy, which is also present in the one that I shared quite early on with the world turning. So there's this idea of turning, a movement, this energy sort of spiraling up from the ground that's being turned. But there's also this sort of female figure, sort of head slightly bowed. So is that because she's connected with this other person, which looks a bit like a male figure, slightly bigger, sort of leaning on that person, but she's also got this energy beneath her that is sort of feeding into her. But then over here, so you've got these two, which are sort of human type characters, and then you've got this big figure here, which is also quite a bigger energy wave, which looks a bit like I've talked a couple of times about this idea of a space monkey, and there's sort of this energy ball here, which looks a bit like a shell or a nut. I'm not too sure, but or the sun even. It looks like this figure is leading both of these people. And there's like a dragon here. I can see different birds and figures in that now that I probably would bring out with my pen, but because it's an